Welcome, everyone. It's Lacey for the Director of Parent Friendly Programs at Georgia Tech, and we are happy to do our What's Buzzing at Georgia Tech with the about commencement. You're going to learn all about commencement and what to know and tips and tricks and all that information from Jillian Cruiser, who I'm going to get on the screen shortly. So thank you for attending. We will record this and it will be on our website tomorrow should you need to look back and kind of refresh your mind or share it with someone else. But we are excited, and congratulations to all of you who have students graduating in December. You've been through a lot, they've been through a lot, and we are excited to get you all across the finish line. So I'm going to go ahead and get Jillian on. Hold on one second. All right, you're on,
Hello.
Jill.
Hi, you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, just making sure. Well, hey, everybody. Again, congratulations to you, your families, your loved ones, and your students. This is an exciting time. My name is Jillian Cruiser. I am an Senior Institute Event Coordinator within the Institute Communication Special Event and Protocol Office. Long titles, I know. So thank you for attending today, and we're going to be talking about the biggest day coming up in a few weeks. So who's our office? You might think, like, how many people plan this huge event, the event that students literally come to school to do, is to end up getting a degree and graduating. 3 people plan this event. That is me in the left hand, my colleague Rachel, and then Serena Wallace, who's actually lead on this event. That is our team and our contact information. You do see a phone number, but we are running around, being that we are having the event in Bobby Dodd Stadium again this semester. It requires a lot. We get our steps in, is what I'm trying to say. So we might be in and out of the office, not able to take phone calls, but we do check our inbox. So if you want to reach us, the inbox is the best place to do it, and probably expect a response within 24, pushing 48 hours, but we try to clear our inbox at least 24 hours. We have a lot of influx of communications coming in, so please be patient with our office, because we want to make sure that we are preparing the best event for you and your student. So great, that's us, and our contact will be at the end of the presentation as well. So the first event that, well, technically it's in between 2 of the graduation events, is President's Graduation Celebration. During the pandemic, we've had to have it on Thursday due to managing numbers and how many people could attend, but now that things are calming down, thankfully, we have to move it back to the pre-pandemic schedule and having it Friday, December 16th, 11 to 2 a.m. It is in between the PhD ceremony and the master's ceremony, but obviously bachelor students are more, we will love for them to come as well. This is for all of our graduates. So everyone is invited. RSVP is still required so we can track our numbers and whatnot. And the things that happen at President's Graduation Celebration is there will be honor cord handout from the registrar's office, the honors college stole, they'll be giving those out for those who apply for those. We also have pictures with those tech letters that you see right there. You'll probably see big grad letters in this presentation. You can take a picture with that. Not the actual Ramboon Rec, that would actually be at your respective commencement ceremony, but the GT alumni rec, as well as pictures with Buzz, interact with your school, get some swag, get some light refreshments. It's just a celebratory event. Another means to get those special images. And Grad Images is a company that we work with for all of commencement weekend, whether it be your graduate portraits to be taken. Those happened earlier this semester in around October, but that doesn't mean that you won't get those portraits. We do have, again, them at President's Graduation Celebration. And so make sure that your student registers themselves with Grad Images so they can get contacted with those pictures after. Now, unfortunately, we cannot purchase those for you. We are a state institution, we do get some emails and feedback about how they wish those pictures were free. Unfortunately, these photos are a little expensive for the amount of graduates that are graduating every semester. So please know that these images come at a cost, but you're more than welcome to use your handy dandy phone or fancy camera at these events. Probably not at commencement, but at President's graduation celebration, we're more than happy to have you bring your own camera and take pictures if you like. Students will have pictures at commencement when they come off as they walk on the stage, handshake, give President Cabrera their handshake, get their little diploma. It's not a real diploma, it's a stand-in before it's mailed to them. And then a picture with the actual rec. So there are many photo opportunities at commencement, and we'll talk more about how you can prepare for that personally before and after the ceremony. Great, so Bobby Dodd Stadium is our venue again. I will say, excuse me, I will say this, Bobby Dodd Stadium just has a cool feel. McCamish was fun, but because of the pandemic, and now because there are basketball games happening the same weekend as commencement, we'll talk about that a little bit in a second. Bobby Dodd is our venue again. It just brings a new feel. It's outdoors. We understand that might be a little chilly. I'm originally from New Jersey, so it's chilly for me is a little bit different. For those who live below the Mason-Dixon, totally fine. So make sure you dress for the occasion. So sweaters, blankets, and whatnot. But these are a little bit of the things you can bring in. Like I said, blankets, certain stadium seats. I'll show you a website that lists all the things you can and cannot bring in. So as you can see, what's not allowed, outside food or beverage. There are concessions that are going to be sold, so you don't have to worry about that. I know the World Cup is going on right now. Vuvuzelas used to be a fun time. No vuvuzelas here, or selfie sticks, backpacks, cameras. And we did say bring your cameras, but inside Bobby Dodd Stadium, it's a little bit stringent on what you can bring. We do have a bag valet. So if your bag does not pass code, and I'll show you to a website so you don't have to get through the line and then told that you have to go to bag valet. Those are located though, in worst case scenario, they are located at the top of Peter's parking deck and at gate 1. The full list, again, we'll go over that and I'll show you that website of what can and cannot happen inside the stadium in terms of what you bring in. We'll show that website in a little bit. So, and feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation. There will be an opportunity to ask questions at the end. Great. So, you're coming to Bobby Dodd, you're trying to figure out where do I sit. So seating charts are on the commencement website. We will go over that today. There are no tickets or guest limits. That's the best thing about Bobby Dodd. We used to limit people to 5 tickets per family or per student, excuse me. So that, there was always a who makes the cut. This doesn't happen in Bobby Dodd. So this is something we are always excited about, that everyone can bring their crew. The whole 100 sections are open. The uppers are not open. You're not going to want to sit there anyway because it's a little far away. And I know you all are going to want to sit as close to your student as possible. So we'll go over those seating charts on where your student will be sitting in respective to their college in a little bit. We will have concessions, so we'll have snacks and drinks for guests. Those are for purchase. Bouquet sales and Georgia Tech gear will be for sale. There's a popular class shirt. Please note that the bouquet, it's sold at the bouquet sales table. They do not sell them. They do not sell the class shirt after after commencement. So this is the only place and time you can get those because they are through a different vendor. The Barnes & Noble will still be open. They are no longer a vendor inside Bobby Dodd Stadium, but if you're here early on campus, Barnes & Noble will be open. Their hours are updated on their website. It'll be open in Tech Square if you want to get some last minute gifts or peruse the store, but we will have other vendors selling Georgia Tech memorabilia and all that good stuff. So ADA seating. Wheelchair seating will require physical tickets. Your students have been contacted about whoever indicated that they need ADA seating. We clarified if it was somebody with, for example, a walker versus a wheelchair. So those who are in a wheelchair will get a physical ticket. ticket. The students are responsible in retrieving that ticket. Usually they're not sold, but excuse me, they are available to pick up at the Bobby Dodd ticket office. They will be notified when that is available. I believe it's the week of commencement. So tell your student to keep checking their emails and check their spam, because sometimes emails like to slip in that folder. So make sure you're just communicating with your student about that. One guest can sit with the other guest who's in the wheelchair, so they're not alone in celebrating your student. So know that there can be a +1 in this area. The guests with limited mobility that I mentioned earlier, for example, my brother-in-law uses a cane. If he or she or they can go up about 2 steps or down 2 steps, we do reserve that area for them if they are not in a wheelchair. So if they're able to walk at least 2 steps, that section will be reserved for them. Great. So this is the time we're going to tour the commencement website. Lacey, if you could just make sure and let me know if you can see the website, just because I want to make sure I get you to the right page.
Yeah, let me send that live. Hold on one second.
Can you see the commencement website?
I'm looking on my phone to make sure we're good. It should be good.
Okay, great. So, and feel free to add in the comment section if you can't see it. But this is our commencement website, commencement.gottech.edu. And this is your one-stop shop in terms of all information. So before you email us, before you call us, we encourage you to go to the website so you can get that information there. You can always, in different pages, you can always get the information you need. So, for example, we were talking about the commencement maps. So this is the venue and ceremony information, where the ceremony and venue and ceremony link. So you can tell that you can get to any of the pages from anywhere when it comes to that. You have videos that can show you what to expect. We still have pandemic related communications. We're going to change that up soon, so always stay updated on our website. I know that these students have masks on, but masks are not required, are no longer required for the ceremony. Then it goes to the bag policy. I'll show you that in a little bit. More information about valet, permitted, prohibited items, and all that fun stuff. So other than the Bobby Dodd website, we also have that website. So we do have a weather plan. My supervisor, Serena, likes to joke that it's going to snow. I abide by the Farmer's Almanac. It's going to be a warm winter, according to this year's almanac. So I don't think it's going to snow. It would actually be pretty cool if it snowed. We would actually prefer that to rain from an event standpoint, believe it or not. So, but if it's severe weather, God forbid, you know, a tornado or whatnot, we will have to move the ceremony to that Sunday. But we do communicate with the students as we get closer to the event, what we're expecting. We even look at the weather patterns starting now because we work with the emergency planning office that has that technology to guesstimate, and so far so good right now. So schedule of events, these are each ceremony, what time they begin, when the gates open. Again, you can always be referred back to the policy. We also have the president's graduation celebration and all that fun stuff. And again, more information about that makeup day. I apologize if I'm scrolling too fast as well. Let me see. So seating, this is what we talked about. Where are you going to sit? Again, this is where student versus guest seating. So I'm going to still find, let go. I think it's on the, actually, one moment, everyone. Here we go. So we don't have the maps here. I thought they would be uploaded because we do have them, but they will be uploaded here. So just to give you some VIP info, The seating, for example, for bachelors, the College of Engineering just happens to be our largest school. They will be located closer to on the whole seating actually takes part of the club level. So if you are a College of Engineering graduate family, you would enter through gate 9. So that is where you'll be closest to your student on the same side as your student. If you would be on the College of Computing, Ivan Allen College, trying to think, College of Design, Scheller College of Business, that would be the west side of the stadium, which is gates 4 and 5. There is no bad seat in the house. If you're a College of Engineering grad and you're going to have to sit on the west side, that's totally fine. You're technically still going to be the same distance from your student. You'll be able to get those pictures from grad images after, as well as they're going to be on the Jumbotron. So you're going to see them walk across that stage and be on that big screen right there. So you don't have to worry about that. One thing that we've started to see through doing several events at Bobby Dodd Stadium, regalia is required in order to be on the field if you are not event staff. So if you're not event staff or a volunteer, you have to have regalia. That means you're a graduate. Now, we have had some parents and guardians and loved ones before, as a student comes onto the field, there's no formal processional. They come through a tunnel to get onto the field. We've seen that parents have met them or babies have been tried to be taken on the field. We consider, especially our emergency planning office, they have a booth in Bobby Dodd Stadium to make sure everyone's safe and sound. If they see a person who's not wearing regalia and have possibly a radio on, because that's how you know your event staff, that means that they are a threat to that office. And we do not want to have that happen and have the ceremony or anything happen to where someone's escorted off the premises because they are deemed a threat because they are not a graduate. So make sure, I know it's an exciting day, but make sure that you are in your seat. You do not reach the field. I know that a lot of parents, guardians, loved ones like taking pictures of their students on the field after the ceremony happens. The only people who are allowed to be on the field other than staff are students. And you can quickly take those pictures on the field, but then you will have to escort because that's our ushers are always preparing for the next event coming up. Because again, we're a team of 3. We have a lot of volunteers help us out, but it takes a lot to plan these events. So we want to make sure that everyone has a great time, is safe, is sound, and that we can prepare for the next ceremony for our upcoming graduates. The PhD for their seating, because PhD is a different group, it's a smaller group, more intimate of a ceremony, they get to sit throughout, there's no seating arrangements there. So you will actually only be able to sit on the west side of the stadium. So coming through gates 4 and 5, you can also come through gate 1. So you'll be able to sit on that side of the stadium. Another part of the website that I really like to encourage your students to check out is a graduation checklist. So make sure they look at this. Of course, they've already done these 2 things, right? Meet the degree requirements and apply to graduate. Those are very important. They've done that already. So they have to check their email, like I said before, review the dates. They've already RSVP'd. RSVP is closed. If your student has not RSVP'd, we encourage them, they can still come to commencement. They will have to go to a troubleshooting tent that will be located on the field. They must be in regalia or they will not be allowed on the field. So we will accommodate them as best as possible. Now, their name will not be listed on the Jumbotron because they have an RSVP, but they're still able to attend. Cancel fall housing, that's a very important thing. You do not want to be charged for spring housing if you don't have to be. GradFest pass, but then again, their tickets aren't required. So this is like everything that they need to know before the ceremony and get prepared. Another thing I like to point people out, again, regalia. We have had one student or a few students show up on the field, and this is another emergency office snafu that happened. They thought they were a threat because they didn't have regalia, and they're actually sharing regalia amongst their friend group. So one friend will go on the stage, graduate with the regalia, then give the regalia over to their friend, which is great. Sharing is caring. But in this case, we do not advise it because because of that, we were not knowledgeable of the whole threat to the, again, we're events people. We're not emergency protocol people. That's why we involve them so they can take care of that part for us, for our guests, to make sure we're all safe and sound. So if your student is not wearing regalia, they are not allowed on the field. And that's why it's very important for the tech store, the Barnes & Noble at Georgia Tech, to be open in case they need to get a last minute regalia. But this is where, again, the regalia policies here, we have bachelor's, master's, PhD. PhD will be a little harder to get late. But again, those orders should have been placed already, but I know there's still bachelor's and master's being sold. We also have an area for you all, parents and guests. So everything that you need to know, what to expect, parking. Another thing that we don't have it up live now, but the Georgia Tech map. So when you're planning your visit to campus, there will be, as you can see, there's different things. So transportation, Fulton County voting locations, there will be a section like this, but for commencement, I'm just going to click on this. So pretend this is commencement, you'll click on it, and then I'll show locations of parking, traffic, where traffic is allowed or not allowed, all that good stuff, so you can plan accordingly. Going back to the website, so that you'll find that map also on parking and transit information once that goes live. Again, seating, this is a general admission, don't have to worry about tickets, and how to plan your visit. So those are the main things of the website. Again, commencement.godtech.edu. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint real quick. All right, so we toured the commencement website. I hope it was a great tour. So commencement tips and tricks, things to know, that VIP info that you all will have from this presentation, but feel free to share it with your friends and peers who might also be attending commencement, if not. So make sure you designate a meeting spot for after the ceremony. It's going to be crazy. I know especially for master's graduates, we have the most master's graduates this semester. It's actually the most graduates we have this semester. It supersedes the bachelor's graduates, bachelor ceremony, how many people will be on the field. So make sure that you designate a meeting spot for after the ceremony. Charge your phone, charge your cameras, charge everything. I don't know if you have any of those phones that might be a little former, like I used to have the iPhone XR, and then all of a sudden the battery started dropping within 5 minutes. I would be at 100% and then 50% in 5 minutes after charging my phone. So make sure you charge everything. Encourage your students to charge everything, because they will receive what we like to call a grad pass, and that is what they use to scan their name to be shown, to be announced and shown on the Jumbotron. So we talked a little bit about the maps. Note that there will be basketball games happening during commencement weekend. I don't know if you all have been to Atlanta yet, but we are known for our traffic. We're very famous for it. So expect traffic to be even heavier, meaning that it's commencement weekend and we happen to have basketball games at the same time. So make sure that you plan accordingly for that for arriving on campus. Again, I mentioned it before, graduates should screenshot. So their grad pass, when they receive it, they should have been emailed it already. If not, it's going to be emailed to them soon. Again, this is a QR code that is scanned before they walk onto the stage. So their name is announced, as well as put on the jumbo screen. For those who are a late RSVP, we literally write down a pronunciation of their name, because we are unfortunately unable to get them a QR code at that point if they haven't RSVP'd. But either way, the fact that your student is able to cross that stage as well as be announced is really, really important. So we still have that moment for them. Also, print your grad pass. Your students will be taking a lot of pictures that day. I see it happen as I'm on the field with selfies with their friends, or pictures with Buzz. It's a great time. We're so excited for the students. We had a student graduate last semester, and I might or might not have cried my eyes out, but we want to make sure that they print their grad pass, because with more pictures being taken, that means that their batteries being used a little bit more than usual. So make sure, again, you think I'm beating a dead horse, but it's really important that they also print their grad pass. Dress for the weather, we said it's during December. It should be a little bit warmer for the winter months, but that doesn't mean it won't rain. Make sure you dress for the weather, dress appropriately. And I know that there are some people who have a house divided with Georgia Tech and maybe that other school down the road, but we always encourage people to wear white and gold and maybe stay away from red. But you can wear red if you want to come into the stadium. That is allowed. It just might not be looked at. Yes.
One of the questions we had about the weather,
sure,
and we'll get to the ones in the chat box in just a second, but
of course,
with the weather, they're wondering how bad it has to be for it to get canceled, because some people who are out of state have flights the next day.
Sure.
So should things go bad, like is it rain? Is it rain and lightning? Like, can you explain just so people can kind of have an idea?
Sure. So it's rain or shine. So if there's rain, last December, knock on wood, that won't happen this year. So far, everything's it's a path to clear skies. No panic bells have been sent out in our office just yet. But we were in the pouring rain last year, and we actually have an emergency plan now to where, and we've had the emergency plan. There was a big miscommunication that happened last semester, or excuse me, last fall commencement. But we will have the guest be moved or asked to be moved to inside the concourses to, if there's a lightning strike 8 miles out of the stadium, and then the students will also be escorted to the tunnels under the stadium as well. So we will shelter in place there and then pick up the ceremony from where it ended. We did have a lot of students who would just walk and then leave last fall commencement, who walked and they're like, okay, well, I want to be dry, which is understandable. And the reason why, sorry about that. The reason why we still have, especially with last year, last fall commencement, pandemic was still a big thing, and we still had to have it outside for safety reasons. I know that brings a lot of other extra planning for the event of rain, but still, we haven't had to push it back a day, and so far we aren't panicking about anything regards to rain as of right now.
So one of the tips I have, as I've worked with families and done, I don't know how many commencements now, over 9 years, our office will be passing out buttons, proud parent buttons and proud grandparent buttons and that type of thing. But we also, if there is rain in the forecast, we will also pass out clear ponchos. Now we won't have enough for like 40,000 people. I don't know how many attend Jillian in the December, but we do try
40,000.
We do try and pass out as many as we can. We will catch graduates if we can, or families if we can. But some parents will bring ponchos because umbrellas are not permitted in the stadium, correct? So if you know now that you have some ponchos in your closet that you've not used, maybe just stick them in your suitcase just to be on the safe side. If weather's looking like it might rain, because I know the bookstore sold out, and parents were telling me as they were coming up to the gates last year that they couldn't even find a poncho anywhere. Mm-hmm. So they were thankful that we were passing them out. So if you're one of those people who's like, while you're packing, go ahead and find those just to have them.
Yep. And then the students are allowed to wear ponchos over their regalia on the field. That happened a lot last semester. I will say, also, when it comes to the weather, we also have, for example, last spring commencement, we knew it was going to start pouring right at the end of the PhD ceremony, which would mean if they were walking on the stage, there's a chance that it might pour. So we moved up the ceremony or moved down the ceremony when it comes to timing, like when it starts, or push it back to start earlier on the same day, so we could prevent moving it to Sunday. So make sure like your student has to stay on top of their email, stay on top of the website as well as you all for any event updates when it comes to weather. Because the actual ceremony time might actually change if the weather looks severe. How we also prevented from the students from being poured on for PhD ceremony last spring, we learned a lot from last fall commencement, is that we actually had them walk first and had the speeches come last. So sometimes we alter the ceremony a little bit so we can speed it up and make sure the students still get their special moment. So that goes with planning celebrations after the ceremony. Reservations should begin at least 1 hour after the ceremony. Again, I would say even more than that, at least an hour and a half, depending on where you're going. I apologize for my chat going on. But make sure you guesstimate how far away it is from the dinner reservations might be from campus, but being that we do have a basketball game, I don't know when they'll end. I'm in my own world when it comes to commencement, so make sure that you're taking that into consideration. So if you want to take photos beforehand, come to campus early. You can come earlier that week, take pictures on campus. Some popular spots happen to be Tech Tower, right by the Georgia Tech historical sign on the historical part of campus. The Einstein is very popular to take pictures at, or any of wherever your student is graduating. Some students take pictures outside of their respective schools and where they took a majority of their classes. So you can take those earlier on in the week if you haven't done so already, but know that there's going to be so many photo opportunities, whether you're taking the photo or Grad Images is taking the photo. There are a lot of opportunities there, but make sure to get on campus early. Probably not for earlier on the week. You should be fine. It should be pretty quiet when it comes to finals week. But once Friday starts, make sure you get on campus early if that's when you want to take pictures. Great. So again, preparing for commencement, we showed you the website a little bit of what the students have to look at. Also your page, the parents and parents and guests page. Tell your student, order their regalia if you haven't already, because they will not be on that field if they do not have regalia. And make sure they, again, screenshot or print out the grad pass. Again, I know that I'm beating a dead horse when I keep talking about regalia and grad pass, but there's a reason why we always talk about this stuff. But yeah, so that's a big part of preparing your commencement as well as reviewing the website. Again, we're commencement hotline, our phone number is right there, but the best way to really reach us is our email address right there, and we'll email you within 24, pushing 48 hours. Again, we're a team of 3 putting on an event where I think our biggest ceremony for the fall commencement will have at least 13,000 people with students and guests. Masters is going to be the big one of this semester due to the 1,600 who are graduating, who are RSVP that they want to attend commencement, which they should. So know that we are a team of 3. We have help, but it's a big one. So thank you for your patience with us as we get to reply to you. I'm so happy that you came here because I will answer your questions here. And if you need my contact, you can again email that email address and they can forward your question over to me. I'm going to unshare my screen so I can see you all, or at least see the screen. But yeah, so that is that. Any questions?
Okay.
I know it's a lot of information.
No. So we've got lots of questions, and parents and families keep typing. So we asked about the weather. Just to follow up on that, there was some confusion with if they do need to reschedule their flight, what time would the ceremony be? And I guess they really wouldn't need to reschedule their flight until we know, like, pretty late, really.
Yeah.
How does that work if that happens?
Yeah, so I know that weather is so unpredictable. we do have plans in place. We do have a weather makeup day. I will tell you this much. A weather makeup day is for a hurricane. A weather makeup day is for a tornado. Those are for extreme cases. Rain, pouring rain, you will be out there if you want to be. So I cannot advise really people how to reschedule their flights because when it comes to unpredictable, out of left field weather, which we have yet to happen within the past 2.5 years of doing this. Again, we work very closely with our emergency planning office, who has a whole meteorology. I've seen the maps. It's crazy how far out they can really tell the precipitation, the time of the precipitation, the amount of precipitation, the chances of the precipitation, and it's really accurate, honestly. So I cannot tell you what to do when it comes to your flight. Like you said, Lacey, it's very, once we get that information, we put out the information and what you should do as soon as we receive it. But as of right now, we haven't pressed the panic button. Again, if it's pouring rain, we will be out there, rain or shine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So there was some question about the field, taking pictures on the field. They can't take pictures at all with their graduate on the field, or like after the ceremony, can they? Okay, so because you did say if you want to take a quick picture on the field, I think that was the confusion.
Sure.
So they shouldn't be on the field at all. Is that right?
Yep. If you are not a graduate or a person working this event, you are not allowed on the field. But we do have, for example, we do have parents in the stands and they say, hey, for example, Billy, come over here. Let me take a picture of you from the stands. That's allowed, but I'll be honest, I get to security level. We call my my event like, hey guys, we need to get up and wrap up. We call her, my other persona, New Jilzy. So make sure that those snapshots that you take after the ceremony are quick, because you're going to be asked to start leaving the ceremony, not because we don't want you to have that moment. Again, that's why I try to emphasize how many picture opportunities you have before and after on campus. And we do allow those quick snapshots real quick, but is essential for a team of 3 and the amount of volunteers that we have for this semester. It's very important that we set up the field and the stadium for our next round of guests and graduates for the next day. So thank you for your understanding with that. We understand that it's a very important day, but know that there's so many other picture opportunities you will get. But yeah, no one on the field, because then you will be escorted and not allowed back into Bobby Dodd, and we do not want that.
Right, definitely don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
How will students know about honor cords? Is that something how do they find out if they get honor cords, and then where they receive them at President's graduation celebration?
Sure. Yeah. So according to their GPA, so they'll see their GPA, and that means that they got an honor cord. The Office of the Registrar coordinates that process, so they'll be able to receive them at President's graduation celebration, being that the bachelor ceremony is on Saturday, but they'll also be able to get it when they walk on the field. We will have students will be communicating with, again, that's why it's so important that they check and read their emails. Don't delete them. Some of our students just go ahead and delete. Make sure we don't do that. But there will be, when they process on the field, there will be an opportunity for them to pick up their honor cords there.
Where would they pick up their regalia if they ordered at the bookstore? Is it just at the bookstore at a certain time? The bookstore. Yep.
Some of them, a lot of our students have it mailed to them or picked up at the bookstore. So it's depending on how they decided to pick it up when they checked out.
And then this is, our student graduates in the spring. I'm watching now to better understand and plan. When should our student expect to receive those important graduation RSVP emails?
Not anytime soon. So right now we're in survival mode, plan and survive for the rest of the semester. But thank you so much for coming. I love a prepared parent or guardian or loved one of a graduate. I love that. And we'll be doing this in the spring if Lacey allows, is kind enough to let me talk to you all again. So feel free to come to that as well. In case anything changes, we do not foresee that happening. But I would say around January is when they'll get their general gist email of, hey, you've applied and have been accepted to graduate. Here's what you need to do coming up with your steps included.
Okay, great. Will the students' degrees be mailed? And is it usually 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks? I think that's right. Or
I don't
maybe,
know. Yeah, I don't
how
know
long it takes.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact time. I think 6 to 8 sounds good, but yes, their degrees will be mailed to them. So whatever contact address that they have on their information with the registrars, where it will be mailed to. So make sure you change your address if you are moving, and plan accordingly for that.
Going back to where graduates should be or will be sitting, if you're in the College of Engineering, can you sit next to someone from environmental if you are electrical? So I'm not sure if they mean the graduates.
Yeah,
So
I think
guess
they're
the
meaning
maps.
the schools within the College of Engineering, because you have biomolecular, biomedical. I was not a STEM graduate, but there's a lot of big words there. I wish I was.
Neither was I.
I'll be getting paid a little bit more money. But so basically, if your student goes here and is getting a degree from here, congratulations, family. You got your retirement plan. Just kidding. But they are allowed to sit with their friends. We don't call by the schools within the actual college. We have the College of Engineering, and then they just all sit where they need to.
Okay, yeah, I think that's helpful. I think they were thinking they would sit within the school, so it's just all College of Engineering. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the maps.
Office of 3, we wouldn't be able to, unfortunately, manage that one. It's a lot.
Will they be crossing from, if you're looking at the stage, they'll be crossing from the right to the left. So if some of our families always ask, where should I sit if I want to see their face?
Sure.
And capture that moment.
Yeah, of course. So again, that moment will be captured by grad images. So know that the handshake moment will happen. And then they go off and then they take a picture with the rec, and they are still in that moment. It's so awesome seeing our graduates just glow. It's amazing. But I will say, yes, they go from, if I'm looking at the stage right here, the newest college gets announced first. I believe that is the College of Computing. And so they will, again, process on the stage, get off the stage, and then come to the club level area. Again, the club level area will be pretty much packed with College of Engineering families and friends. So it might be a little challenge. You can try. Again, you can be outside the line like a Black Friday sale, or what we used to know as Black Friday, before the doors open. We do have lines sometimes form outside of Bobby Dodd Stadium, which is totally understandable. You are allowed to sit wherever in the stadium except for the upper decks, and you're not going to want to sit there anyway. So, or behind the stage, obviously. So, plan accordingly, but that's where you'll have to be if you want to get that moment.
The maps that you said, you think they'll be up next week for them to
they
kind of figure out?
Okay. Yeah, our design process, we've had some turnover in our design team, so we are putting things to print today. So those maps they finally got approved literally today, so they should be up on the website within the next week.
And parking, you had noticed or noted on commencement.godtech.edu under parents and families, there's a parking tab for them to click on just to figure out where the best parking is. So families, definitely check out that. One of the things I noticed from, again, working all of these, and I'm usually outside and Jillian's usually inside, a lot of families do bring their purses, like their big old adorable Coach purse or whatever it is. There is a bag check, but parents don't necessarily want to leave a bag check, and then they want to run her back to the car. And then, so please note the clear bag policy. Can you talk again what they are allowed to? So for the people who want to bring the big old purse, just note that someone's going to be walking that back to the car or leaving it at bag check.
Yeah, bag valet, we haven't had a problem with somebody losing their bag. I am that kind of person that if I were to have a Louis Vuitton bag, I would not want to put that at the bag valet just because I'm a control freak, hence why I'm in events. So I wouldn't want to put my bag in bag valet, although we haven't had that happen. I'm going to put in the chat right here the clear bag policy on the Rambling Rec page. Again, if you've been to a football game or State Farm Arena or any athletic scheme. It's usually the same clear bag. Rather be safe than sorry. But yeah, they show you exactly what's prohibited. Not even a fanny pack is allowed in. But those clear tote bags, I'm sure you can also purchase them. This is not an advertisement for the Georgia Tech Barnes and Noble, but I know that they do have them there, and they'll have cute Georgia Tech branding on them. So if you want to have the same Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket spirit, they are available to buy there. But any clear bag, well, not any, but the allowed clear bags. Even a clear plastic storage bag, a 1 gallon bag is allowed. So know that you can even go as little as that.
And then a question about what time students need to be there. Because sometimes I know families and students try to coordinate, but then the students have to split off and be there at a certain time.
Yeah, the doors open at the same time. So if you want to be with your student, you go to your seat and you go to their, they go to the field. That's fine.
Great. Any other last questions? Feel free to type them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to put in the website again. It's commencement.gautech.edu. And you can also contact our office. We get a lot of questions from families, and we try to answer them. And if we don't know, we'll reach out to Jillian's team and ask them. President's graduation celebration, families, if you are in town, I would encourage you to attend that. It's a lovely event, and more pictures can be taken there. Jillian can talk about. There's a little bit of kind of coffee, tea. I'm not sure what you're serving this year.
Same thing.
It's coffee, tea, and cookies kind of thing, and some fun music, and it's just a celebratory time. And we will be there with those buttons I talked about. We pass them out as well. On President's graduation celebration, the proud parent, proud grandparent, proud sibling buttons. We will pass those out so you can wear them all day Friday and all day Saturday. And it looks like we don't have any other questions. So, and you want to wrap up with any last things you have to say?
Yeah, no, for sure. We are so appreciative of our families. I'm sorry that I can't talk more about weather, but other than how you can prepare for it, which is prepare accordingly with your dress and know that you might sit out in some rain. But either way, it's a memorable moment. Even with last fall commencement, we don't like rain because I'm out in the rain with you all. So know that we are in this together and managing all this together. So thank you for your patience and understanding with our office as we go through with another commencement of Bobby Dodd. At the end of the day, it's a really great celebratory event. It's a different feel in the football stadium, and adds another level of Yellow Jacket pride and school spirit. And we are so excited for you all to come to campus and celebrate your students. It's my favorite event. That's why I applied for this position that I'm currently in. Seeing students really glow when they walk on that stage and seeing the parents cheer them on. It just reminds me of my own graduation days long time ago. So
it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Long enough for me.
So we had another question from, thank you so much for that. President's graduation celebration, they're just asking what exactly happens.
Sure. It's basically a mix and mingle event. You come as you are, come with regalia. You'll probably see a lot of doctorate students there and master's students because they're the ones who are graduating, or their commencement ceremonies are that day. So you might see a lot of PhD robes, a lot of master's hoods, but undergrads are everyone is invited. So again, Lacey said, we'll have a DJ playing fun music. We'll have those big grad letters, those big tech letters you saw earlier in the presentation to take pictures with. You can take pictures with Buzz, the Georgia Tech alumni rec. They'll be able to take pictures with the rec all day. You'll have the real rec picture and then the Georgia Tech alumni rec. Light refreshments, each college will be there. So the Alumni Association will be there talking about what's life after as a Georgia Tech alum. So, or some students, they graduate and they come back for their master's right after. So, that they can talk to that as well. So it's just basically another event where I like to call it as they do it for the gram. So it's an Instagrammable moment. We also have a selfie booth where you can take a selfie with some glitter backgrounds and whatnot, just having a fun time to network with your professors that might be there, or with your school who's going to be there, and just have another photo moment with your family.
Okay, so there's a question. Parents that wearing regalia at the president's graduation celebration, that's for picture purposes.
Yeah.
So that's for them to wear their regalia and get a picture taken with Buzz or with the rec. They would wear it on that Friday and then wear it again on Saturday if they want.
Yep.
Certainly not required to do that. That is just for photos.
Yep, come as you are.
Come as you are. You certainly don't need to do that.
We do need shirts and shoes, though.
Yes. A question for how long the graduation ceremonies will be? An estimate?
PhD is about an hour and a half. That's what we hope, because it's, again, more intimate of a ceremony. Masters, prepare to be there for a while. Knowing 1,600 people are going to walk on that stage, I would say 2.5 hours for sure for that one. And I would kind of probably prepare 2.5 hours for bachelors as well. So prepare 2.5 hours, definitely for the masters though. A lot of people want to get their master's degree. I totally understand.
Yes. So the parent who asked about the commencement date for next fall, all of that is on the registrar's website. So the registrar has the calendar for the next 5 years. So if you go to the Georgia Tech registrar website and just go to the calendar, 5-year look, that'll kind of give you some basic dates. So I don't know that I have that right off the top, but it's on the website. And if you can't find it, just email parents@godtech.edu, which is my office, and I'll research that for you. We're going to go ahead and close out because we are getting close to the top of the hour. Thank you so much, Jillian, for joining us. And I'm going to show my face now so parents can see me. Hello again. So thank you so much for joining us today. And if you have any questions, parents@godtech.edu, and we will get them, or reach out to Jillian's office to answer those questions. We're excited to see you all either this December or for some of you in May, or maybe even next year. Thank you so much. And again, this will be recorded and we'll post it on our website tomorrow under Stay Connected Virtual Recordings. Have a great day and go Jackets.
Have a great day. Bye.